Welcome to Flourish, the podcast for faith-driven mompreneurs who are ready to release overwhelm, create sustainable, healthy habits, and build purpose-driven businesses aligned with their faith, family, and vision. I'm Stephanie Book, a transformational mindset, wellness, and business coach. I'm here to equip you with the tools, mindset shifts, and encouragement to help you flourish. If you're ready to grow a thriving life and business while staying aligned with your faith, purpose, and priorities, you're in the right place. You are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Flourish Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. And today is an exciting day because I have my first official guest podcast, and I'm so excited to be able to have Jess Reed as my guest. We have got to know each other a little bit through church, and we're similar in our experience of wanting to grow as an entrepreneur and help women thrive. And so I'm so excited to have you meet her. Jess is a wife, a mom of two boys, a homesteader, a business owner, and a faithful encourager of women who feel called to do something with both their family and their faith combined. And so she is going to be a great guest. So I'm really excited to walk with you in this conversation, Jess. And just tell us a little bit more about you.
We started homesteading I think it was like 3 years ago. It was like shortly after COVID. We kind of got into chickens and all that stuff. So also own a salon. I've been doing that for quite some time. So, but as a business owner, with the salon, I think it's been the past 4 years, if I calculate correctly.
Okay.
So it's been quite a journey, but.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you have your hands full and you have two boys. Tell us about that. What are their ages?
Yep. Two boys, 8 and 5. So second grade and kindergarten. They are kind of just getting into the sports and stuff. So we have a pretty busy spring ahead of us. And, then my husband and I have been married for, we got married in 2018. So whatever the math is.
Right. Yeah. Math is hard. It's not my go-to either for figuring things out. Like someone else could do that. They probably have it right in their head right away. It's okay. Yeah. So, that's awesome. That's great. So I know that you have your salon, and so you're owning that, and now so you've stepped into homesteading, and I know you have a adorable farm stand, and it's just going to start waking up now here for the season. But what has drawn you to wanting to kind of step away from the 9 to 5 and really jump into this?
I'll be honest with you. I think that it's just, God's just placed this on my heart. For a long time, even when it came to the salon, I thought that, that's what I wanted. And I wanted to build this big business with that. I was doing hair and makeup for weddings and at the salon a lot. And what I started to realize was that it really wasn't providing me any freedom with my family. Maybe a little bit more on the financial side, but I was missing out on spending crucial time, I think, with my boys and my husband. Especially at such a young age, we don't get those little moments back. So right. I've always, for the most part, I really have always, prayed to God about, for his will and stuff like that. And, I just, after COVID, I think that was a huge, wake up call for, I'm sure, a lot of people, especially for us. So.
Mm-hmm. No, that's wonderful. I love how much God is part of your journey, and that's for me as well. I know when God lays that on our heart, we want to follow what He's calling us to, and it looks messy and it's scary, and we don't even understand how it's all going to come together. But we just trust and we surrender that God's going to lead us. And I know I've watched you do that over the time, and just watch how things have been growing for you. It's been really, really fun. So, how would you say, you've talked a little bit about this, but how would you say faith has guided your decision? And then I know that Matthew 6:33 has played a big role. So tell us a little bit about that.
So as far as faith guiding my decision, it's almost like how you can't really be an entrepreneur, I think, unless you have faith, because it can be very uncertain. It can be very scary. You're leaving your comfort zone. You don't have the security of a 9 to 5 or, somebody paying your stuff. You are fully, I just got goosebumps. You are fully relying on your creator, our creator, for
Absolutely.
every resource that you have. So I think that
Absolutely.
you have to have big faith. And so I have just, it hasn't always been easy, but I have just been praying, and I have prayed that, God guide us, God lead us, God take care of us. And realistically, if you do it, and I've been on that side too, if you try to do it yourself, we just can't. We're human.
Right.
We cannot do what God can do. So,
right. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So, why is Matthew 6:33 such a big verse for you?
Well, so for a long time I separated God from my business. I wanted to give it to him, but I was still kind of, taking care of it myself. So he was very separated in that. And for probably the past 6 months, maybe a year, I'm not exactly even sure. I just kind of had this, replay of that verse in my head. And, I think as a Christian and as a Christian entrepreneur, in general, our focus should be on God and God's kingdom. And so, so it's a huge verse as far as a reminder as to why I'm doing this. And, that we should be doing kingdom work, as Christians, and leading people, not only to Jesus, but I think to allow, him into every part of your life, including finances, business, family, everything. So.
That's beautiful. I'll read it just for listeners. Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need." So that's perfect. Yeah, it's absolutely having that full surrender and trust that he's going to provide, even though we can't see how it's going to happen. And just as long as, I think that surrender part is a big part of it, right? Being able to just you got to do the work. Obviously, you can't just sit there and wait for something to happen, but you also do the work with the expectancy that God is going to take care of it. So definitely a way to learn as you grow, for sure. So have you ever had some moments where you feel stuck or you're unsure? How did you push through? What allowed you to do that? I know obviously relying on God, but tell me about if you have a challenge in mind or something you could share.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm kind of going through that right now. Maybe not necessarily, maybe a little stuck, but just a lot of uncertainty. And I think a lot of it's just, your mindset and having to remember that, God takes care, or God will take care of you. And if he shows you the vision and he'll give you the provision and the guidance and stuff, but it's a lot of mindset. It's, you just have to, reframe that. And, I would say a lot of it's mindset. It's a lot, you just have to work at,
Right.
You always see the bigger picture. So
right. Yeah. Well, that's nothing new on here. I talk about mindset all the time because that's been the foundation of change for me. I mean, other than, obviously relying on the Lord, for the direction, but knowing that I need to work on this muscle up here and learning how to take those thoughts, especially the things that doubt that will creep in. And I think the enemy will really try hard, especially in those areas where we're really vulnerable. He'll really try to work hard at it. So, we're taking that time to switch and look at what's helpful, what's true, what's kind, are these things are right? Is this truth from God? And then reframing that. So it takes a lot of work, but it's great that you are connected to the Lord and being able to do that and flip that switch. So yeah, that's wonderful. Hey friends, I wanted to pause the episode for just a moment to make sure that you are registered for the Reset Your Mindset Challenge beginning April 21st. I love how Jess was just talking about mindset. That wasn't prompted at all. It's just so important to make sure that your mindset is where it needs to be as you move towards your business and in life. So I want to invite you to join us on April 21st. and we are going to go through the whole week. We'll have a little bit of teaching time and then some time for you to do the work so that you walk away from the week being ready to really have a reframed mindset to be able to step into the things that are important to you. I have a beautiful design workbook to go alongside the week and some freebies for those who register. So make sure that you check out the information by putting reset in the comments below. Tag me on Instagram at steph.book or message me wherever you hang out in social media and I will get you the link so that you can join us. It's absolutely free and I am so excited to start on the 21st. So tell us a little bit, for those that don't even know what homesteading is. I mean, it's become kind of a popular term anymore, but tell us a little bit about like what it's like for your family, let's talk with that and then we'll talk more about it. So
homesteading to me, what I would, define it as basically, you're, a lot of people say self-sufficient. I say like God sufficient because none of us are self-sufficient. You're growing food and, you're, like cultivating, we have chickens, so provide a lot of eggs. We know where our meat comes from as far as like butchering or processing, whatever. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gardens and chickens and goats and all that.
Right. I know. And you'll have to definitely. We'll put all her links in there, but you have to check out her Instagram. She's always showing her chickens and all the different things that are going on at her homestead. So it's really awesome to see that. So what do you think you learned through this lifestyle that's impacted your business? Like as you're kind of stepping into this, what do you think you're learning?
Honestly, I really think. Patience. Homesteading is not, snap your finger and instant gratification. It takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of trial and error. You have to be okay with failing at certain things, not looking perfect because it is not perfect by any means. Yeah, those are probably I would say those are probably the biggest ones. Self-discipline. That's a big one because in all honesty, there's a lot of work to be done. And if you're not disciplined, things don't get done. And so that's a big one. We have chores every single day, like that we go out, obviously feed and water. Everybody's got to get fresh water and food every single day. And that has to be done. So even like the boys in our family and stuff, like they have chores they have to go out and do. So I think work ethic, Yeah,
absolutely. And we don't always live in the best of weather here in Ohio. So it's probably really difficult at times to go out there when it's just cold and nasty and windy and then have to go out and do those chores. So it does take a lot of discipline, a lot of dedication for sure. So what has been one of your most favorite parts of being a homesteader so far?
Honestly, I think it's like the stewardship. I mean, maybe I never really thought about it, but as far as like taking care of animals, like day in and day out, like, you would think that it would get, I mean, I'm not saying I'm every day, I'm like, oh, let's go. But, they rely so much on you and, you start to see their personalities and, it's a really cool thing to watch unfold. And I think that's probably my favorite part. I like spending time with them and it, just gets you outside in God's creation. And, it just kind of brings you in all with it.
That's wonderful. I don't have any animals, so I look outside my window. I watch the birds. That's about all that I get. But yeah. Well, once it's warmer out, then I'll hang outside a lot. But I think that's great that you're able to have that opportunity to do that. And I've not done chickens. I probably won't, but I'll just get them from people like you, and I'll enjoy that as well. So I love that. Since I like to help a lot, we're in that same, we're both moms and we're in business. So what would you say to a woman that wants to start something, but maybe she's not sure if she's ready? Like if a woman's like, I think I want to start a business or start homesteading, what would you say to encourage her?
Well, I would say, definitely pray about it, like pray on it. I think that also, when we have ideas and things, it doesn't hurt to try and just to start, even if it's like unsure, you're not sure. I think you kind of find out real quickly whether it's for you or not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I do a lot of pray. I pray on it, and I try things, and if it fails, then it's like, I don't know if that was. I think you figure out really, really quick whether it's meant for you or not. So.
Right. No, that's good. I mean, we need to take that action. And then if it doesn't work, it's okay. And I think we're so afraid of failing, but the failing is what teaches us what we're to grow us to what we want. Right. So that's good. Yeah.
And
awesome.
I think the intimidation factor of trying something new and failing, like, you never know, unless you try it. So I think that,
exactly.
Business and stuff can be very intimidating. Like I said before, because we're just so unsure about the outcome of it. And, I think us humans like that, we like to be comforted and to know that everything's,
right. Everything's just going to go smooth, but it's a bumpy road. I mean, life is bumpy. We think of it as a straight line, but it's all kind of wiggly. So it's not going to be a straight line to that. But it's good. And taking that just trusting that God is leading you as you're seeking him, and you're going to step forward, and he's going to catch you. If you're going the wrong way, he's still going to catch you on the other side. So that's good. So that's fun. So what else? Like, I want to make sure, like, we kind of went over, what we kind of planned to talk about, but like, what would you love to say? Like, if you were, what's on your heart that you'd like to share today? Anything beyond that?
I mean, I don't really necessarily know, but, I also think that there's a lot of negative notations, or like a little bit of a stigma around entrepreneurship, So I think that a lot of times people can be negative about it, or maybe it can be a little bit embarrassing, especially when you're in the growing parts of your business, because it's, you're not necessarily seeing maybe the fruit that you want, or maybe other people aren't seeing that fruit. So I think that that can kind of sometimes weigh on the mind too. And just for me personally, this is where the mindset comes in once again. Like, if you kind of have to tune out that noise from around you, and sometimes you have to just separate, maybe separate yourself. And for a long time, I actually started my Instagram that I have now. And I didn't tell anybody about the name of it. I didn't share it. I stopped sharing stuff on Facebook. And I just kind of felt like I had to break away from everybody that I know. And it kind of reminds me of Jesus started his ministry. And when he went back home, and like nobody, they just looked at him as like Jesus the carpenter. They didn't really see him for what he was. And sometimes I just like, sometimes you have to step out of, away from people who are, or maybe things, whatever. I don't know.
Sure.
But yeah.
No, I think that's very true. And I think that we, there's different things we worry about. Imposter syndrome, that people are thinking that, who are you to talk about this? You don't know what you're doing. Or, we worry about maybe the success that we have. It's not as big as somebody out there. And you're like, well, you're not gonna be able to do that. Or they see you as what they know about you, not what they don't see what God is doing through you. And so sometimes that can be, removing that and not looking at that, not looking at comparison, trying to look at the straight of where God is going. But it's difficult to do that. It's definitely, and it's vulnerable as you are living out your life in ways and showing like all the imperfections and the failures along with, and there's usually more of the like missteps than there is a lot of the success sometimes. So that's good. I mean, that's a good reminder, to do what you can to separate. But I think it's good to, I guess I encourage people to not worry about what those naysayers are going to say, and just step out and share, because that's, if you're connected with what God wants, like he's going to allow you to shine through. And those naysayers, they might pull away, but they might not be the best ones to allow. They might be people that you can't take out of your life, but you can filter. You can definitely filter what you take and what you let go of. So Yeah, that's a good lesson to learn for sure. So tell us, I know we just kind of touched a little bit of social media, but tell us people where they can follow you on your journey, just how they can get in touch with you, or if they want some encouragement, or however you want to help them, how can they find you?
Right now I'm on Instagram most of the time, and that's basically living dot with Jess. And then I am on Facebook, and that's just under Jess Reed. I'm not on there as much. So at the moment, Instagram is like my main place of, where to connect or whatever as of right now. So
perfect. And you have a guide. Tell us about your farm stand on a budget guide that you have.
Yep. So I think it was last year. Yeah, last year we moved to our property where we've been able to expand our homestead, and I told my husband we need to open a farm stand, even though we live in the boonies. And so we decided to do that, and we built. My husband built our farm stand with basically all scrap wood, metal, whatever we needed. So farm stand on a budget guide is just basically saying how you can open a farm stand like cost effective and efficiently. And then also like as far as marketing your farm stand, how to do it cost effective, basically through like social media and stuff like that. So
awesome. Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll put a link in the show notes so that you could grab that guide and definitely follow Jess on Instagram. Her reels are great. And I love how vulnerable you are, and you just share what's on your heart. And I think that has attracted a lot of people to you because you're real and you're following into what God wants. So before we go, I was thinking a lot of people say when they have a guest, it's like one thing we want to ask them. So I would say, I would love for you to celebrate one win that you've experienced over the last week that you'd like to share.
Let's see, one win. Well, honestly, my Instagram hit a pretty big number, and I've been working on social media for a long time. So I finally hit, as of right now, like 11,000 followers, and which to me is awesome. And I really love the community and, connecting with people. So I'd say that's probably one of the biggest wins for me this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's been fun watching you grow. And I remember seeing one of your reels about saying like something about your husband saying something about reaching 10K and then it's like what you were at like 8,000 or something at that point. So it's just crazy how quickly it has grown. So that's awesome.
That it kind of ended up being a joke. It was supposed to be a joke, and then it just kind of blew up, and I never expected that. He never expected that. So no, but yeah,
that's so fun. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that just means more people that are being able to see God connected to what you're doing, and that's what's most important. So that's awesome. So Jess, I'm so glad that we got to do this finally. I was excited to connect with you, and maybe we'll have to have you come back another time and share a little bit more about what you're learning and growing. But I just have really enjoyed watching you and watching your growth and your example for mompreneurs out there of like what is possible when you have some faith and you surrender and you do that action. So I appreciate that. So
yeah, awesome.
It's so much fun. Absolutely. Yeah. So friends, just remember that you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Take care.
Thank you for joining me on Flourish. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and equipped to take your next step with confidence. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs this encouragement. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at steph.book and join our Facebook community of faith-driven women who are ready to flourish. Make sure to check out the show notes for all the ways we can connect and continue this journey of growth together. My friends, remember, you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Take care.